everyone, and welcome to the App Store Privacy Challenge. We are the Transcontinental Team. So the group consists of 3 lawyers, myself, Carmen from Spain, Camila from Colombia, and Yasmine from Algeria. I have also to add here Larissa, which also was at the beginning collaborating with us in this challenge. So the presentation of today is divided in 3 parts. We have the discovery, problem, and solution, as the other groups have already mentioned. So to start with the discovery, we're going to present you our insights about this challenge. So moving on with the research insights, we have mapped out the stakeholders, and we found out that the stakeholders have different and contradictory needs and motives. So we found out 6 stakeholders. So it's Apple, the users, app developers, data brokers, governments and regulatory bodies, and advertisers. So from an Apple perspective, Apple's interest is based mainly on commission and market. When it comes to app developers, their interest is based on monetization, and users, what they want is privacy and free access to apps. And when it comes to government and regulatory bodies, they want policy enforcement. And the advertisers, what they want is basically get access to data insights. So our mission is to ensure privacy for all. So we have decided, to pick one stakeholder that potentially had the greatest impact and the least efforts. And the winner is Apple, because we consider that is the most powerful stakeholder. So to understand the stakeholder Apple, we define our point of view. So basically, as you can see here, as iPhone users start to be concerned about their privacy, Apple has proposed this new privacy feature, as the other groups have been talking about, the privacy nutrition labels. And Apple wants is to improve their market through, more secure iPhone features, and they want to get revenues in app purchase commissions. So now let's move to the problem, which Camila is going to present.
Yes. So hello everyone, I'm Camila from Colombia, and I want you to pay attention to the problem. The problem that we will solve is that Apple privacy nutrition labels are misleading. And the reason for this is that because Apple does not verify apps' privacy claims. So because there's not this verification process, Apple cannot guarantee that privacy is being protected. So next slide, please. This is unfortunate because of 2 reasons. The first is because it contradicts Apple's claims that privacy is a core value. And in this, we had the same extract as the Francophone team. And it's because Steve Jobs always had this as a major subject for Apple. The second reason will be that users are not aware that these privacy terms are not verified. So they are sending the users to check on the privacy terms and conditions, which is actually not the point. This is supposed to be a problem fixed by the feature, and not something that remains as a problem. So all this means that users' privacy will remain unprotected and without the possibility for them to control what's the access these apps are going to have on their privacy. So the third thing will be that, this gave us our objectives, and we have two objectives. The first one is to transform the App Store new privacy feature and make it much more effective. And the second objective will be to empower users with awareness of this misleading feature and convince them to petition to change it. And Yasmine will present the solution we found after this process that was a bit long, but you will see it's a great solution.
So hello, everyone. I'm Yasmine Hidouk. I am a trained corporate lawyer from Algeria, and I have the great pleasure to present to you our solution. So to solve the problem and reach the two mentioned objectives that we designed, objectives that Camila has mentioned, we have designed the following solution, which are comprised of two parts. So the first part is a more effective iOS privacy feature, plus a campaign to raise awareness amongst the users on how misleading the current labels are and getting hopefully Apple's attention to change them. Do you mind? Yes. All right. So before we show you the prototypes, we wanted to tell you a little bit about who we had in mind as our persona when we were designing the solution. We actually chose as our persona, our past selves, the people we were before this challenge, because we have learned so much during this challenge. But before, yes, we knew about privacy issues, but we didn't necessarily feel empowered to be in control of our personal data. So our persona is the regular Jane. Sorry, can we go back? So, you know, in her mid-age, she has a college degree, a job, uses the phone a lot, either for work or for being on social media platforms, but doesn't necessarily know how to gain control on the data she's sharing. So the feature we decided to present to you is called the data transparency feature. This feature is inspired by an existing iOS feature called Screen Time. If you actually have an iPhone, you might have seen it. Screen Times allows users to track the time spent on each app on the phone and be able to limit and control the time they spend, set limits for every app. You know, Pablo Picasso himself said that art is theft. So we actually didn't feel so guilty to be inspired by an existing iOS feature. And since our stakeholder is Apple, we thought that if we go with something they already have and know how to make, it will be easier to implement. So what does this feature do? So we designed the data transparency feature to allow the data collected by apps to be more visible, more transparent, and more controllable by the user. How so? So first of all, the data needs to be more visible. Would you mind, Carmen, moving to the next slide? So first of all, yes. So to make it more visible, actually, this app would show exactly how many data points are being collected on a daily and weekly basis on the app. It shows also which app is collecting the most data, so users can clearly identify those apps. Second, so the second functionality aims to make the collected data more transparent. So instead of accessing unverified privacy policy claims, as it is the case now with the nutrition labels, our solution allows the users to see the exact data collected about them. For example, they can go on contact info and click and see what contact info they have given the app. Similarly, for more sensitive data, such as their financial data, they can go and see what has been the exact data that has been collected. Finally, our solution will allow those users who will grow concerned after seeing how much data is being collected from the apps to easily access the settings to change privacy restriction for each app. And instead of going outside of the app and changing them, they could easily be directed to that. So this is the feature, the presentation of the feature. But as I told you, our solution is in two parts because we understand that raising awareness is very important and hopefully getting our voice to Apple to do something about it. So I'll hand it off to Camila to present to you the second part of our solution.
Yes, so we decided to go a little further with our prototype, and we decided to do a campaign, an awareness campaign, because I think this is one of the principles of legal design in its applicability. It doesn't work if we propose a prototype and it's just going to be between us. So we said, okay, how can we convince Apple to actually do this? And we decided that the best way was to do this campaign. So we decided to do this hashtag, which is privacy is power, for three reasons: to spread awareness, to make privacy a new trend, and especially because it's in the user's hands, the solution, because Apple will listen to their users and the users have the last word on this and they have the power to change it. If they complain about this feature and about this misleading feature, well, Apple will listen and will correct this feature. So we thought about transmitting the idea through an online campaign. So we created the hashtag so we can open discussion in social media, but we also created posters on the different formats for Facebook, for Instagram, for Twitter. And yes, what we want is to make people concerned about privacy the new cool, like to show that this is not something that we don't care, that this is something that we can't control or we can't manage, but really empower people and empower users to ask Apple, to ask this company to change and to actually do what they're supposed to do with this feature, which is the whole point of this exercise with legal design. So yes, we have these three goals, and we decided to create a petition on the website change.org. So there you can find the petition. So people can sign it, and maybe this is also another way that Apple will listen to their users. And I think this is great for also like the market, because of course the competition like Samsung or Google or the other platforms and big enterprises on this, they will see that Apple did this, and maybe they will also propose this for the other types of telephones. Yeah. So this is it.
Wow, that's really an amazing presentation. So much creativity in action. Wow, I'm really impressed. I love this idea of a campaign. I see people are clapping as well.